Welcome to News Booze.
And what we choose with Dami and Danielle.
Well, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking Campovida 2018 Grenache. Oh, sorry you can't
Love
see.
that Zoom. Love that Zoom. Influencer
Look
hand
it.
behind the
This is
bottle.
where I got married. This doesn't do
There,
anything, by the way.
it really doesn't.
Like,
I know
why
it's
do
like,
I look at this? What is
I know
this?
I'm gonna put it in front of my face, but you can't see it either. I'm drinking a Montpellier or Montpellier, 2022 Cabernet.
Ooh, do you have notes on the back of yours?
Oh, I don't know. I never look at that. I just look like, oh, the label's pretty. Um, And nope.
No?
And nope. It says
I
wine has
love
been with us since the beginning of a civilization. It is temperate, civilized, romantic mealtime beverage. Ew, I don't like that. Romantic mealtime beverage? Gross. Wine has been praised for centuries by statesmen, philosophers, poets, and scholars. Wine in moderation is an integral part of our family's culture, heritage, and the gracious way of life. No note. No notes,
Just
though.
kidding. Well, okay. If you're curious, Campovita is up in Mendocino County. Um, it's literally in the town of Campovita,
It's
and
stunning.
it is really beautiful. Danielle was there. And this one is good with grilled lamb dishes with cumin. Although I am not having that, I am eating it with a ton of chocolate.
So do you say cumin or cumin?
I think I just like cumin.
Girl,
Cumin.
it's
Cumin
cumin.
sounds like a person's name. Cumin. Oh,
Good
there
old
he is.
Cumin Smith. Had a crush on Cumin Smith. Did you?
Oh man.
Yeah, mine
Hilarious.
doesn't have notes. If I were to be a sommelier, it smells of blackberries and jam
Oh, good for you.
and tastes of leather-bound books with blueberry.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm gonna cheat because I'm actually terrible at that, and I have a funny story one day
You're
or
like, it
now.
tastes like ketchup.
No. So mine is like dark cherry and strawberry spice, and it's medium body. That's the flavor profiles. But I'm actually really terrible at flavor profiles. I don't know if we have time for a very, very quick story, but I was in Greece
That's fine.
wine tasting with my in-laws, and we were on this island. And I am so sorry that I'm saying this out loud, but
Wait, what
the
is the Greek island?
Crete.
Oh, it's not the one that everyone talks about.
Santorini.
Yeah.
Santorini had pretty good wine. It was okay, but I was expecting to like have like my wine socks blown off because it's tint, right? Like
I actually own a pair of wine socks. It says, bring me a glass of wine on the side.
No, I was like, their wines or vines have been around for a really long time. They've been making wine for like pretty much all of civilization. But the wine was okay. I think we're really, really lucky here in California, and that's because we do different varieties of grapes. We don't just do one variety or a couple varieties of
And is
maybe.
it called varietals?
I don't know, but I'm going with varieties.
No, it is, but I feel like the
Oh,
wine people that like pour it for you, they're like, this is a part of the varietal of blah blah blah. Like they try to do like, and this is part of the family of blah blah blah.
I
Like,
have no idea. I may have heard it that way, but I'm sticking with what I know as variety. Oh God. So anyway, we're like wine tasting. They bring us this like crazy chart that like it has like a map of like it could taste like this. And it's like it almost looks like a color chart. And the lady comes up to me. I love wine, but I am not good at flavor profiles. Like, I feel like I second guess myself so much. Like, there's nothing worse than like someone asking me what I think, and then I'm just like, I don't know, it's good. Or like that feeling when you open a
it's,
bottle of wine for someone and you're like, what if they hate it? Because you think it's good, but what if they don't think it's good? And then I just go down this whole rabbit hole.
do you really have friends like that though? Because I feel like most of the
No,
people that you kind of cohabitate and they're like, oh, it's fine, it's good enough, it's gonna get me a little buzzy.
I think of my mom. Like my mom is like she loves wine, or my family, like they love wine and they're wine snobs. And so anytime I open a
And they'd be
bottle,
like, Hogwash, get this away from me.
I'm like waiting. I'm like, is it good? Is it okay? So the lady looks at me, she goes, "What do you think? What notes do you taste?" And I just froze and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then she's like, well, like, do you like vanilla? And I'm like,
Do you have taste
maybe.
buds?
My in-laws are staring like, what's wrong with you?
No, my taste buds got burnt off earlier on my cup of coffee. I can't actually taste anything. Thank you for pointing it out, making me feel really awkward. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Anyways, so yeah, that's my wine history. So yeah.
Well, fun fact, I lived in Paso Robles for what, 4 years, and I went to one tasting room and no wineries the entire
Are
time I was
you
there.
serious? Oh
Yeah. So
my
I
God.
definitely want to go visit the friends that I have there,
Yeah.
the beautiful, beautiful women that were there that definitely were the best people ever when I needed them the most, for sure. So when I go and visit them, I think I'm gonna definitely do it where it'll have to be a bring the kids in their wagon. We go to the pretty wineries and everything and like kind of do a little bit of wine tasting and then take the Uber back because,
Yeah.
responsible.
Did you ever see there's a really cool little lake with all these cute little like colored little campers, and it looks like a really cute place to do like a girls' weekend. Like everyone gets their own little mini camper. There's like pink and turquoise campers and yellow
Oh my
campers.
God, shut up. That sounds so cute.
It's very adorable. So if whoever, I'll go. Let's go.
Honestly, I do need to spoil myself like girls trip or something. I did do the trip up to Portland to see Brittany in October, so I got the Halloween trip.
hmm
But yeah, I think it's definitely something that all women mothers, need to do to have that time for themselves. And I was just so guilted by, well, you should always want to be around your kids. You're horrible if you ever want to do anything for yourself. So I had to really like retrain my brain to not be that way.
hmm
But anyway, I definitely think it's something that we're gonna have to plan for sure because that sounds delightful.
Yeah. And if you're listening and you're a mom, everyone, like we all deserve that time to reset and you just come back and you're a better person and mom. I mean, I guess this can be a good segue, but like my week was like, I mean, it was work and then the toddlerhood of toddlerhoods.
Yeah.
So much biting this week, like they're biting each other. Hmm
Ooh, see, my kids don't bite, they wrestle, so they do like the full-on headlock and like pulling each other off the couch and like falling and could like literally thuds behind me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank God for Zoom background eraser because sometimes you can't hear them deadly screaming from the back, being like, pow, pow.
I kind of wish that they would do that over the biting. The biting really freaking sucks. Like I lost it. I mean, I honestly lost it as a
Have they
mom.
have actually drawn blood?
Not like a lot, but I mean, they get bruised. And there's like, it's like a red spot, and it really makes me sad. I definitely had some tears. There were tears on both sides, all sides, I should say. And I just don't know what to do. Like I've read all kinds of different things, and I think with twins, it's like specifically really challenging because you can't just separate them. Like you can try, but like they're not going to listen. So majority.
Biologically, they're wanting to be together.
Oh my God, yes, but also they're just like the fights are happening because they're like, "Oh, you have this toy. I want to be around your toy." And you're like, "Can you go get another toy?" Trying
Oh
to.
no, it's always when I'm starting meetings, I legitimately will always, so it's like a routine. They get up,
Mhm.
I have to turn on they watch this, it's called Play-Doh Monsters, and so it's literally somebody making like clay figurines, and so I give them Play-Doh every morning. Yes, I'm keeping Play-Doh in business.
Yes.
Every morning they both get Play-Doh and they both make Play-Doh monsters while they're
Mhm.
watching it so then I can be on my morning meetings.
Good
And then
idea.
of course there's one situation where blood curdling scream, Play-Doh, Play-Doh, and Wyatt's running down the hall, Play-Doh, and it's just so sad. I'm like, Forrest, get back to Play-Doh, and he goes, No.
Like Play-Doh right now is it's like a team effort where I have to be involved because they want me to make cars. So they're like,
Oh,
car.
I was like, are they trying to eat it?
No, 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 no. They want me to physically make the car. And then they smash the car and then they bring it back to me and they're like, car, car. And I'm like, you make the car. I don't want to make the car anymore
No,
because
you are the Play-Doh bitch, and you need to make their
I
cars, woman.
Play-Doh bitch. Yes. Oh my God. So anyways, it was a lot of that, a lot of biting mishaps. There was, I think it was today was a good day, no bites. There was like 2 days this week where we had no bites, and then like one day just that was freaking hell. And I had some really good conversations where I looked him, I looked Lucas. Lucas is like the main one who's biting. William is hitting now, and I was like,
Oh
"You are my
no.
baby," and it like I'm like, "You're my baby." And I would protect you the same, but you can't bite my other baby because it hurts him. And so we had some,
The mom voice.
art. Yeah, the mom voice came out, all of it, right? And so I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, when we were in the bathtub, he was pointing to William's, boo-boos, and he was like, boo boo, like
You'd be
Lulu.
like, "Hey, fuckface, you did that."
Like, yes, but we don't do it.
That
Oh,
was your fault, little
it's
shit.
real. It's hard.
Love you.
It's
Love you.
tough out there. If
Kisses.
anyone has any other, anyone have any other like, tips and tricks? I read some really shitty ones to some like, okay, somewhere in between gentle parenting and like full
Torture.
on torture.
No, the first thing you said about biting is the only thing I can think of is cuticle people, like people who pick cuticles, like AKA me, was you would get this stuff and it tasted like rancid. And I'm like,
Mhm.
can you just like cover your kid's body and like his arms like in the taste that tastes rancid or like soap? Maybe like soap.
He does it like over the shirt. He'll bite
Um,
him in his like shoulders and like in his back. I also had a friend who said she's a twin and her mom did Tabasco. This is back in the 80s. I had like done a quick Google search. I can't talk. And obviously we don't want to do that. He also really does hate hot sauce. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just it's got to be somewhere in between like now we don't do that and
yeah,
like
maybe we don't give your child hot sauce.
yeah. And like I don't want to whoop
Maybe.
your ass, but I also don't want to like gentle parent you. So like a happy medium.
Oh no, I'm very much a believer in the fine line between gentle parent and what we were raised. Mind you,
Yeah.
I never was physically hit, thank God. So I
Mhm.
didn't have that experience, but I definitely had that like forceful tone. And so
Yeah.
I implement that tone. That's why I asked them. I will straight up say,
Mhm.
I was like, so do you want me to use my mom voice? And they'll literally think about it. They'll just look, they're like, no. And I'm like, so you're gonna listen? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool.
That works. Okay.
Didn't need to use it because
I'm gonna have to start trying that.
my mom voice is scary.
Oh, I can imagine, Danielle. I never want to hear your mom voice.
Don't piss me off. You won't have to hear it. Um,
Uh,
well, my week was way less fighting. I mean, other than yes, my kids do battle royale. They headlock each other, do a whole wrestling situation. I'm like, you've never even seen a wrestling show. Where does this even come from? But anyway, so they've been pretty well, and it's so cute. They give me flowers every day. They pick little
oh,
dandelions and they go, Mama, flower. I'm like,
that's
okay.
really sweet.
It is so sweet. But other than that, like not much really going on. Obviously, like work, living, single momhood,
Mhm.
doing it all, and going to, yeah, that's pretty much it. Going to visit friends in the coming weeks, so that's nice, but it will not infiltrate our schedule of recording. So, oh, we're gonna go to an air show tomorrow.
Oh, that's
I just
so
remembered.
cool.
So
Oh,
we're
nice.
close enough to we're like far on the end path of the trail or whatever. I'm telling you, if my ex right now is one of my exes is listening right now that is works at the international airport. I'm friends with him. That's why he would be listening. Um, he would very much be like, well, it's actually called. Anyway, no, they were
Oh
like practicing their routines. The like, little jet people.
my God, stop it,
So the
Danielle.
Blue Angels like had a whole like figure the Mighty Ducks triangle thing. What is it called?
No clue.
when they form the triangle and they like go in a little duck
Okay.
for
Yeah.
Mighty. Did you never watch
Cool.
Mighty Ducks?
No, I definitely did, but like that was like when I was like what, 8, so I don't remember these
Yeah.
things.
Okay,
Well, what is
well,
it called? We'll have to come back to that one. But yes, I know what you're talking about.
anyway, they did it right by our window. Like, well, it was like the end path. So,
Yeah.
but we're gonna do that tomorrow. So I'm excited because I used to always go to those with for my dad. My dad and my stepmom used to take me to the air shows all the time and like drag races and like the Sonoma racetrack and the whole thing. So I grew up with that a lot from my dad and my stepmom. So I really like it. And last year I took them for their birthday. So we're gonna go again this weekend. Yeah.
Hmm.
Super
Well,
cute. And I'm glad we're gonna go not directly on the field this time because it is very loud. And they're both very much like, I don't want things covering my ears. So even getting the ear covers doesn't help. So I'm like,
yeah.
cool, I'm just gonna shoot out your eardrums. That's sweet. But yeah, that's the plan. But otherwise, there's no major updates. If I think of anything that I completely forgot, I'll definitely let you know. Other than, oh yeah, if you have a girlfriend, you should probably not slide into people's DMs that
Oh, yes.
don't have a group girlfriend
Is this
or
under the
boyfriend.
section of what grinds our gears?
Yeah, let's do the transition over there. So, very much a nod to Family Guy. What grinds my gears is when people who should not be messaging people because they have a live-in girlfriend.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should probably not do that. You cheating, cheater, pumpkin eater. But I digress. But anyway, yeah, that's my warning, if you will, because I'm not gonna be that. I'm never that person that's like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. No, that's not my
No.
fucking relationship. This is not my plate. If you watch Real Housewives of Orange County, this is not my plate. I'm
Mhm.
not going to get myself involved, but it's like, yeah, you should probably fucking keep your side of the road clean, homie.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I agree.
Gross. Gross, gross, gross. Cheater, pumpkin ear. Anyway, let's just go right on into do you have anything that's annoying you other than your biting children, or do you want to jump into the news?
No, no, I think that was it. That's like the biggest grinding my gears is, yeah, being, remote for a day and trying to freaking handle that. Nah,
Welcome to my life every day.
I don't even know how you do it. And I didn't even mean to stay home that day. It just was like early morning meetings right at 7:30. And then it was like back to back. So it's like, when do you go in? Like, when are you supposed to travel? And that's like COVID hours. That's what grinds me here. COVID hours.
Is that even like still a thing?
No, no, it's not.
I've
It's
been
just,
working from home for so long and I get like still the drive I drive up and get my groceries put in my trunk. Like I'm still living COVID life where I'm like, if I don't need to do it, I'm gonna
I
let
think
someone
it's
do it for
like,
me.
it was partially my fault. Like I should have just like scheduled it better. But COVID hours are like, you used to start like early in the morning and you kind of would like work all through the day because you didn't have to
Do your actual
travel.
lunch breaks and stuff too.
Well, that's yeah, and that too. Like you didn't have to carpool or commute into work. And so I think that like, that balance is still kind of like being figured out in this like new world. So, anyways, that's kind of where I got caught. And it just was one day that it was like that really, but it just happened to be the day that they were extra biting. And so I just, yeah, lost it.
Extra spicy.
Extra spicy. Anyways, okay, let's get into the freaking news. It felt like a kind of like a weird, still very high level, like nonstop, but
And I think it was more of like continuation of what we talked about last week. So it seems like, I mean, obviously people are probably gonna be like, "Are you kidding? You forgot about XYZ once we're done."
uh-huh.
But really it was more of a continuation of what we did chat about. So one was a continuation of last week was the Department of Education being demolished and defunded. But
Mhm.
the fact that he had children at the signing is like having fish watching in little baggies as you're in a great white tank and just be like, look what's happening. Look what's happening. This could be you. You could lose this. Like, yeah, Department of Education, I know that my analogy is not great, but whatever. But what the fuck? Like you literally had children at the signing of the defunding of public schools and abolishing the Department of Education.
That was such a
Kids, come
weird,
on in.
what a weird move to do. I think like there, it's like the optics of it, like, look, we're all cool with it. What? Those are children for one.
They don't
And
understand what's
it
happening.
we don't understand what's happening. And I think what I think about most is that like you're so fucking evil to sit there across from these children and do that to them. Like that you could actually look at like somebody who's going to be affected by this and continue to spew your bullshit. That was like how I took it. It was like, no, this isn't like, oh, look, the kids are happy about it. Well, they don't freaking
Ha-
know.
Have them sing a song while they're at it. Like, come on, choir. Let's go. Sing a happy song while he's signing.
What in the actual fuck? Like this is so detrimental and it screams racism to me too. Like yes, let's leave it up to the states because they know damn well that an uneducated voter is the perfect voter for them. That's what this is.
Oh my God, this is actually a quick segue.
Mm.
Did you see the guy who he voted for Trump and his girlfriend was deported?
No.
And he said he doesn't regret his vote. So you're in a cult, homeboy. Like you are
Yeah.
in a Trump cult. If you think because your girlfriend was deported due to Trump's law and like the sending everyone back situation that he's kind of getting his little concentration camp set up for, um, and you still are like, oh, I'm so happy that I still voted for Trump. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Like, is that like real or are you just digging your heels in because you look stupid? I think there's that piece of it because I've heard a lot of people talk about like that people on that side of things really don't like feeling stupid. You don't like feeling duped. Nobody does. Nobody wants to feel duped. We get it. But you know what? It's time to admit fucking defeat. It's time to admit that you were fucking wrong and that you're on the wrong side of things and that you're literally on the side of Nazis. Like, stop
She
it.
said
Wake
it.
the
She
fuck
said
up.
it.
Like, wake the fuck up, people. I know last episode, I think it was last episode, I said, um, like, we need to get to this point where all of us collectively are pissed together and then we get this fucking nonsense the fuck out.
It's
Sorry for all my F
unfortunate.
so passionate.
Oh no, are you kidding? That's why we have the E on the
Oh,
next
it's
to next to
true.
our thing.
True.
We can say
Well,
fuck all we want. Fuckity fuck.
It's
Um,
like, come on, we need to speed this up because now we have all of this stuff happening that like really, really is detrimental to so many people.
I just
So
want to know. I'm gonna know this. How long has Trump been officially in office? 2025.
Kevin Gates.
His presidency began January 20th. So we're actually recording on the 21st. So
Mhm.
he's done all of this chaos and all this shit in such a short amount of time. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah. I think a lot of us were like hoping like his first round, he didn't get like a whole lot done. There was still stuff that was, ramifications later, but nothing like this. And I think he has completely
Lost
shocked.
his goddamn mind not getting laid by his wife
Yeah.
because she doesn't want to touch him anywhere.
Gamer.
It's fine. He can get hookers to go in the back door. It's fine. And no, sex workers. I'm sorry. It's a job, y'all. It's fine. I support you. But if you are one of the sex workers that have to sleep with Trump, that's gross. Enjoy that micro penis.
Mm.
Anywho, so the JFK files were released. Allegedly, nothing surprising, nothing groundbreaking. It's basically pretty much like when the Epstein files were, well, part of it, the list was released and uneventful. So I don't know. I think the JFK files being released, it said allegedly that there's nothing really in there. It was kind of a bust. Their words, not mine. Forbes. This is from Forbes.
Mhm.
But that now people are actually trying to accelerate the push for the MLK files to be released now. So we'll see. Honestly, it's like just release everything. Release the fucking Kraken, if you will. Like, I don't fucking care. Just release everything. Tell us all. Tell us all. They've already told us that the aliens exist and no one else is really batting an eye. No one cares. They're like, yeah, I know. We've lived among the
No?
aliens this whole time. Elon is an alien. I'm pretty convinced of that. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like at this point, nothing's going to surprise us at all because we're so numb to the crazy idiocracy that's in the news every day.
Yeah, we're at like at a different level. I did hear that if anything, that they weren't expecting it to like, shock anyone, but that if anything, it was more telling of like our political relationships that we had during that time, that was like more telling, I guess, than anything else. So I don't know like the final like, oh, what does this say about us? But that's what they were expecting.
We'll put the link in the description. You can do a deep dive for
Yeah.
sure. But I mean, maybe how about this? I'll put a homework assignment for myself. I'll go into the JFK files. I will read them
Yeah.
for as much as that was actually like, like not expunged or not like blacked out or anything. But
Mhm.
I will look into them and I will report back next week.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my homework assignment for the
I
week.
love it.
But speaking of homework assignment, I didn't get to the podcast you shared with me earlier in the week that I just could not find the time to listen to.
No, no worries. So I was on the way. It was like my longer commute day, and I like to listen to podcasts too. And so I was listening to the Daily. And there was one on how Trump is scaring big law firms into submission. And so they went through pretty quickly too. So it's a good listen if you're out there and you kind of want a good listen. There's it's on
And
Perkins and
I'll put it in the description.
yeah. So I thought this one was really interesting. First of all, like the title was kind of, intriguing because you're like, okay, well, like what in terms of everything that he's done, like we just said, in the past 2 months, this one, like, it feels like it's at the bottom of the like list of like uh detrimental things, but it's actually has a bigger cascading effect.
Well,
Um,
and the title to say, because the title is Trump scaring big law firms into submission. I don't know if
yeah.
you shared that or did I already?
Yeah, so I said that one, but
Sorry.
no, no,
Sorry.
no, it's
I was
okay.
pouring wine. I was completely distracted by not spilling.
No, 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 it's okay. So basically, it talks about how, so in Washington, there are these big law firms that usually represent like Democrat parties and then Republican parties. So Perkins and Coie is well known for representing these Democratic parties. Like they're different initiatives or different things that they're like putting into play. And so I think his first term pissed him off basically. And don't quote me on this. This is just kind of like loosely like from what I remember. But what had happened was they basically got a target on their back from him. Like he's like, I'm taking them down. And he failed a couple times. So he had tried like one instance, didn't work out. He tried again, didn't work out. Well, then he comes into his second term of presidency. And this time they kind of get caught in his crosshairs. Well, not even his cross, direct fire. And so what happens is that they basically get told that they are no longer able to represent their other clients um, at Capitol Hill, and that's like detrimental to their business. So like if they have all these like clients that they need to go and like represent, he basically banned them from going to court.
Is
So
that
it's
legal?
well, so they're like trying to get help from other law firms to say that like this isn't legal, but everyone's kind of scared to touch it because they're like, look
Well,
at Perkins and Coie is huge and they have this massive clientele. And now probably all their people who are like on board with them probably are like, we need to, like jump ship. And nobody wants to touch it because they're like, if you fuck with him, basically he's saying, if you fuck with me, I will ruin you. And so they have this like scarlet letter
That's illegal.
where it's really, really messing with them. And so what the trickle down effect is that when he does stuff like what we're seeing, literally take almost any example that you could use in the past 2 months of what he's been doing, and people are saying that's unconstitutional. Well, how you get that actually like to like an action is that you need these big law firms to file lawsuits. But if nobody wants to file a lawsuit against him because he's saying if you fuck with me, I will destroy you, um, that kind of puts us into a really, really big fucking pickle. So it has this like massive trickle down effect that is really scary. And when we're talking about like he is scaring Republicans who don't want to stand against him. Democrats are not. It's like we're unable to do anything that's actually preventing him from doing all the shit that he's doing. Then legally, you have law firms who are afraid to stand against him. So we're really in this situation where if you're listening, guys, it's up to fucking us now.
Because
Time's
everyone's scared.
over. Your our
Everyone's
it's not
giant
working.
pussies is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
it's
actually,
not working.
okay, so I actually work with a lot. I don't know if I've ever actually discussed what I do, but I've worked with a lot of my clients are personal injury law, criminal defense law specifically, um, and immigration law. So that's been
Uh,
actually a big topic, like a big topic. Lately, but I'm actually kind of curious to see if I would have any clients that would have kind of the cojones, if you will, doing a reaction video to this. So I'm gonna consider being very picky and choosy with which ones I say, because I don't want them to be like, well, I voted for Trump, so and I'll be like, well, I guess you're not my client anymore because you don't like me.
Well,
But no,
listen, don't. I say
I'll
do
be
it.
scared. I will be very specific as to who I share it with, but I'll be like, I think this is a good podcast that is current and would be good for you to do reaction video to because that's what I do share like kind of current news articles, trending things that are in the news that I say, okay, react to this, send me the video, and our team will edit it and post it to your socials. Kind of curious if someone will have the balls to do it. So
Yeah, and don't quote me like on everything. I'm just a normal like person, everyday average person,
yeah,
mom. So I'm just taking this, and Danielle and I are just literally we're just angry, and we're like, what else can you do besides posting stories? And so this was kind of like our
oh
way of
yeah, if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, we post stories every day, all day, all the things that you need to know before things that we'll talk about on the episodes, we will post about. So we post a lot of White Lotus, we post a lot of news related content, we post a lot of angsty, angry stuff. It's not all like just focused on women
yeah,
empowerment or anything, but we are two women and we empower each other. So if you're
yeah.
against that, don't follow.
But
But
we're
follow.
but we're not like we're not reporters and we're not claiming to be. I went to journalism school, so I do feel like this like well, I shouldn't say school, but that was like my minor. But
So you know what was mine? Women in crime.
was it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Mine was sociology, women in crime, and then criminal psych.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I really wanted to be my goal,
hmm
obviously, when I was a child was after I saw Free Willy, I wanted to be a marine biologist like everyone else.
So
But
I still
when
want
I was, I
to.
know, right? I'm like Lisa Frank made us all want to as well. But when I was in actual college, I wanted to be one of the people that would be a criminal psychologist. So I wanted to be a San Quentin psychiatrist, psychologist, and write a book was the goal of why killers do what they do, why people do these crimes, like why do they do what they do is kind of like the goal. And that was something I really was interested in. So maybe that's why I've watched every single solitary episode of Law and Order SVU. And yes, there's like 400 episodes. I've watched every single one.
Oh my God. I could see it. I could totally see it.
Yeah, I would totally be that person across. like, the plexiglass or whatever, and they're like chained to the table, and I'd be like, all right, let's chat. Totally down.
Oh man. Okay, so tell me about the uproar about.
Oh, so obviously the NFL listens to the podcast because not only did I have an uproar about it, but many of people, obviously, in the world were all like, what the fuck are you doing? How can you release Juice Jack? Juice Jack. His nickname's Juice Jack. But anyway, I digress.
This is a sports announcement, guys.
Oh
Sports
yeah, so the Damiana won't be speaking at all.
People love
Um,
this. No, I have a friend who was like, "Oh, I love that you guys talk about this, whatever, the
I
sports."
put I put it in our bio. I said we do news, we do pop culture, and a sprinkling of sports. So if you actually are watching any of the basketball games with Charlie, you can talk about March Madness since we are in March. But and the brackets started happening, I think like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, but I have not. So I'm definitely going to make an effort to watch the basketball games and keep kind of up to date on what's happening, what's going on. So we can talk a little bit about that because we do want to sprinkle in some sports because it's not a man's world where men are the only ones that can talk about sports. Women can talk about sports too. Yes. Will we say so and so is really hot? Of course. Will we say, oh my God, his butt is so hot? Will we say, oh my God, I love his wife. His wife is so adorable. Oh my God, she dresses so cute. Yes. But guess what? Some people want to hear that. Anyway. So yeah, Juszczyk is back on the 49ers. So he signed a 2-year deal and thank God. If they don't offer him more, I'm gonna do nothing, but I'm gonna talk about it because and I swear it's just like one of those things where it's like, really, you're gonna let all these like let the good boys go? Like you idiots. Like Matt let Moody go. Kick his moody booty to the curb. But no, their kicker is Moody and he's subpar, in my opinion. But anyway, I think they should give a different kicker a better shot this season. That's just my 2 cents. So obviously, again, the 49ers and the NFL totally listen to this podcast. So that's my recommendation, guys. Anyway, uh, another thing, because this is more of the rapid fire news, is Sia is getting a divorce from her baby daddy, and she just had a baby and named her baby Somersault.
Like first name Somersault or first name baby?
First name Somersault.
First name Somersault.
Like, hello, Liam and Lucas are going to school with a little girl named Somersault.
I,
So,
if you can hear that noise, I'm sorry.
yeah, what was that?
No.
What was that? You have a train in there?
No, it's like the Ring doorbell. So like if someone walks in, it makes a train sound. Sorry. Um,
Oh, I thought it was like a train toy that came to life. I was like, oh my God, your house is haunted.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, going back to somersault, um, moment, I really hate it. I hate it.
I
I
mean,
hate it.
like,
I
okay,
hate
we
it.
all hated Gwyneth Paltrow when she named her daughter Apple.
I still hate Apple. I still hate it. What do you mean? I hate it. And I love Gwyneth Paltrow. Like I
I
can't say
love
I
her.
love her, but like I listen to the Goop
Mind you,
too.
I will
So
never buy a candle that says this smells like my vagina, but girl, I love Goop. I love Gwyneth Paltrow. I love her boyfriend breakfast. She always posts every single Saturday or Sunday. I love her Instagram. She's just superb. She's such a little like homesteady
mhm.
girlfriend, wife, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
because she's technically not married again. She only married Chris Martin and now she's just has the long-term relationship, which I think
Sure.
I know you
Yeah.
got married. I know you did the whole legal shebingle. I
Mhm.
personally like not involving the government, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Um, and as you
Government
can see
doesn't make
why.
it to get divorced. So I'm sure after people go through that, they're like, no, why?
Oh
No.
no. When I had to do what I had to do for what I had to do, wow. You know,
Mhm.
um, they straight up said they're like, "Oh, well, this is going to be easier than if you actually were legally married because there's going to be so much more paperwork with that." And I'm like,
It's
"There's more
sad.
paperwork with that than children?"
Yes. And there's more paperwork with that than actually getting married, which is
What
Wrong
the
focus,
fuck?
guys. Wrong focus.
And we're gonna skate right on by that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway. So yeah, somersault for you, weird name.
Somersault. Oh, baby
Okay, I
summer.
hope they go by summer, like shorten it up summer.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's more normal.
Some. What about some? Maybe some. Sounds like a close cousin to
Dim sum?
baby dim sum. Yep, I love that.
Dim
Yep,
sum
no.
and sum sum. Oh my
Now
God,
where
that
my
would
brain
actually.
went.
Okay, no. That would be the cutest names for twins. Little girls, dim
It
sum and
rhymes.
sum
It
sum.
rhymes too closely with
No,
something.
that's why I don't call your child his full name. I always say Liam because it's L and L.
Yeah.
I'm very, very much an illiterate. I love illiteracy.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it so much. Except I don't love that the Kardashians all have to have K's. I am glad that they kind of like went away from that with their own children.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a good segue. Speaking of K, speaking of Kanye or Kardashians, let's talk about Kanye being a
Yes.
fucking horrible father. Oh my God. You are literally calling P. Diddy in prison. Calling P. Diddy in prison. I'm just gonna say that again. And recording a song, not just with you two, but with your child, Northwest. Are you fucking crazy? And allegedly, Kim did straight up go to the court and say, this is absolutely not acceptable. Like she tried to lay down the law. Like, I don't know the current
Yeah.
update on that, but she did go to court about it. And she's like, this is no, like, I'm sorry. He is clearly, obviously mentally ill.
Yeah.
We all know that. Like, look what he did to his freaking wife right after Kim. But
I
are
don't know
you
what did
fucking,
he do he got married again?
yeah. And did you, oh my God, I love that you are so not in the know of all the pop culture weird things that you don't really need to know ever.
Oh,
He made his wife prance around Paris in a stocking, like a nylon stocking with nothing underneath. So her vagina was out, her boobs were out, no covers, no nipple covers, no vagina covers, no nothing, just straight up vag and tits.
why did
And
he made her or she wanted to? Or like
so,
what?
okay. Let me backpedal. Um, we were all thinking, oh my God, she has to be brainwashed. She's totally doing this against her own will, blah, 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 blah. But she recently did. So she and him went to what is that? Golden Globes or Oscars? One of the award shows recently, and they walked the red carpet and she was wearing a jacket, and then on the red carpet she took her jacket off and she was completely naked on the red carpet. And she was back first and then turned around and she was vag out. Yeah, so
Oh, I think I see the pictures. I think it was a Grammy.
yeah, Grammys. Okay. That makes more sense than the Oscars. But yeah, so this is very much something that has been done before because when they were overseas, she was always photographed looking miserable as hell, naked as freck, and looking like she was a captive freaking person that didn't want to have anything to do with this, but it was against her will. But they released pictures inside a Grammy after party. And she
Mhm.
had the biggest smile on her face and she was like talking up a storm to people and she was like having a grand old time. So we don't know if it's performative, where she's in on the thing, like the in on the whole shebang, or if she is actually against her will, having all of these things happen to her. And she's like being forced to do this.
It's giving really creepy vibes. I'm like looking at these pictures. There's one of her with this like big black collar, and it looks like a nylon stocking is like over her head, and her arms are crossed, and she's staring down. He also looks extremely weird. He's clearly wearing like shoulder pads, like football
Hmm.
shoulder pads.
Oh, at one point he was wearing shoes that looked like the shoes you'd put on, like those big boots that you would like put on Santa sculptures, like during like decorating for Christmas,
The
like the
one,
big black boots.
yeah, there's also one like them like out of like they're walking out of like a hotel, and she has like a big black trench coat, leather trench coat, and he has like almost like a black ski mask over his head. It's
Hmm. No,
really
so
bizarre.
now it's like Is this performative? Is this she's against her will? Is she in on the whole shebang? Because it's not even a joke. I would say she's in on the joke, but it's not even a joke. It's kind of weird. It's fucking bizarre. But
Yeah. But you would have to be bizarre. I mean, like it could be both. Because I think you have to be a little bizarre to even entertain that person as like a um
partner.
especially like yeah, especially like where he is now. Like he's not at the where he was before where we didn't know the depth of his like mental issues. But
So I'm
now we do.
wondering with this latest thing with the whole P. Diddy, Kim, Northwest thing, what did Kim say?
I'm sure she was pissed. I'd be pissed too.
Oh, Kim Kardashian cuts visit short with Kanye West after learning Andrew and Tristan Tate would be present. Oh, also that. I forgot about that. So they're like it's very much in the news that they're traffickers, the Tate brothers. They're like
Oh, I
Russian brothers and they're the Tate
yeah.
brothers. You probably have heard about this, Andrew and Tristan. Um, there was visitation. Kim Kardashian reportedly cut her daughter North's visit to Kanye West short after discovering the Tate brothers would be present at his house. Why would you have your daughter present around traffickers?
See, this gives me, and this is the thing, like Kanye West calls he uses whatever I like
No,
he's
go fuck
associating
yourself.
himself with being like this whatever, right? Jesus. I mean, I don't get it because I don't really follow him, so maybe there's more
I
like
don't either. And it's weird because
whatever.
if you act, so, side note, if you don't know, there are some people that I follow that I'm actually shocked when I saw that I was recommended to follow because you know how you can see the people who are like recommended, you should follow these people. Trump is on there and it tells you like who of your friends are following it. I'm like, I don't think they know that they're following him. So you
Oh,
remember when that came out when he was
oh,
elected and
yes.
people were randomly are like, I never followed him, but he's now I'm like following him. So it
Mhm.
was like forceful follow. Yeah, you guys might want to check who you're following and double check you're not following Trump because I can see some friends of mine that I'm like, for the things they're posting that are pretty anti-Trump, you're
You're
following
like,
Trump.
it's not.
Um,
I mean, I just think that like Kanye's what he's doing, how he's acting is like it's like this like immortal like kind of perception like or that like it couldn't happen to him. Like there's no like wait you wouldn't put if you're a normal person, you know that bad shit happens and you would never put your children in that situation. So that's just tells me that he absolutely isn't fit to be a parent right now.
Corrections corner, they're not Russian. I apologize to my Russian friends because I do have a couple. They're Romanian. So the Romanian brothers are facing allegations of rape, human trafficking, and money laundering. Um, yeah, so it said that Kim is trying to limit visitation rights due to the fact she doesn't want her child conversing with Tate's brothers or P. Diddy.
That's really
Because,
hard. Oh man, yeah,
and
that's hard.
also it's the fact that it's like, how can people, like, especially a judge, jury, I don't know, like, how it has to go, because I know there's mediation and all that stuff, but how can they not just, like, do a quick Google and be like,
Mhm.
oh my God, he's so unfit. He cannot be around these kids. He's letting them be around human traffickers, rapists, and a guy that's actually in prison, like be on a freaking song with him.
Hopefully that works to her advantage though, that like people do know that. So maybe that is like a plus and maybe it'll probably knowing them to be handled quicker than like what us normal people have to go through when we go through court. So
I would hope so. Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
fingers crossed because those poor children are going to need so much therapy. And I know firsthand, like, getting a child into therapy for things that are out of your control, it's really detrimental because you're like thankful that they're in therapy and working through things, but you're also like simultaneously just like, why is my child needing to be in therapy? And it's like, I'm
Yeah.
sure she has that same feeling like, if her children aren't in therapy and they're going to be in therapy, you have to realize the cause. And I'm
Yeah.
sure being in the public eye in general, I mean, granted, side note too, going into our next conversation, did you see the thing about how she had a photo shoot with a Elon robot and Cybertruck?
No.
She was like in her Skims outfit. and she was like on the hood of a Cybertruck, and there were the Elon robot people, the space people
Yeah.
robot
Is that?
things. I don't know, whatever the robots are called. X-bots, I don't know.
Oh,
Um, they were in a photo shoot together. So I'm like, cool. So you're
it
an
was
Elon
probably
fan?
before, I think, because this is, I think
No,
this was before, no? During?
this just, I want to say this just happened a week ago. So
No, no.
Kim K, Cybertruck photo shoot. And it happened 4 days ago.
Oh, no.
Kim Kardashian's Tesla photo shoot sparks outrage, surprisingly, that might actually matter. Is the headline. But yeah, it was just like 4 days. The article was from 3 days ago, but the shoot happened 4 days ago. Um, I will send you, if you look on Kim Kardashian, she probably took it down. I wonder if it'll like let me show. Wait, hold on. Nope. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. But it basically shows her like straight up like doing her sex face with a robot, holding a robot in the back of the truck of a robot, putting her chest out and like doing the like orgasm face. And people are in outrage in the
Guys,
comments going,
so embarrassing.
I'm never buying
Oh my
Skims
God.
again. I'm kind of sick to my stomach right now. Oh my God, never again. I can't believe her. Oh my God, same. Never buying Skims again. Like people are in
Robots are
outrage.
cool. Like this is the funding. But and like this robot is probably really cool, but that is so embarrassing. Like you Google it, everyone. If you're listening, I'm sorry if you're driving, do it later. But like that's kind of a little weird. Okay. All right. I have some emotions about that. That's freaking weird. This is the same as Nosferatu, okay? When you cross over human, it's the same. Like crossover human robot. I don't need to see that, guys. Okay? Keep that to yourselves.
And that circles back to what our first episode. And FYI, side note, I did have to restart my router, so I had to connect to my iPhone. So hopefully our connection's better because before
Yeah.
it was like showing a little glitchy for me. Yeah.
Uh,
Just
okay, well
behind
let's
the
go
scenes.
in to what we watched.
Yes, yes, yes,
Right.
yes. So I think we covered everything else in the world, but what we watched, of course, we always start the top with White Lotus. We have to chat with White Lotus. So we finally got the juicy episode that we were anticipating. The brothers,
You
the bro
called it. You so called it, Danielle. She was like, yeah, okay, but around this time, what episode is that? Six? And you're
I
like,
think this was 6.
episode six, like gets really spicy, so everyone kind of goes crazy. So I started it, and then I was like, okay, Danielle said it's gonna get spicy, and holy shit.
I told you. Okay. So the brothers make out. That's
Okay,
gross.
it was gross. The whole time I was like, okay, they're not, it's like brotherly love, and then it just got weird.
So you know
But
what's
you can
funny?
tell.
Side note, really, some people are like, well, what about Game of Thrones? Like incest happens there. I'm like, the time frame, guys. White Lotus is supposed to be current day. Game of Thrones was back in the day when they're trying to keep their bloodlines clean.
It still
Difference,
was weird
guys.
for Game of
S-
Thrones, but
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Sir, that's why I posted that thing with Cersei, and her brother
Yes.
banging in the tower, and it showed the brothers above it. Yeah, so it's basically the same thing. Um, but we already anticipated that because he like looked longingly at his brother Schlong in the mirror like the mirror in the first episode. Finally, they made out. Granted, yes, they did that awkward, like, oh, we're drunk and drugged up, and like, we're just gonna kiss a little bit. And then, oh no. Oh, the girls are asking for us to make out more. Okay, why not? I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, Julian, if you listen to this. Would you ever make out with your brother?
Absolutely not. Ew. The fact, absolutely not. No, I think
You're
that
gonna
like
be like, Julian, we talked about you.
clearly like one brother was more into it than the other, but I still felt like the younger brother, and I think this maybe this is like part denial, but I did feel like the younger brother just was like what? Come on, it's just a kiss. You're
It's
just my brother.
fun.
Yeah, like it's fine. Like, I
We're
could
in well, according to Parker Posey's character, we're in Taiwan. No, we're in Thailand,
so
actually.
good. That was a really good line. I lost it.
And the daughter
Yeah.
just sitting there going, "What?" Like,
Listen, for the makeout sesh with siblings, I'm like happy to like go into denial on this like plot line and just be like, yeah, there was just a drunken kiss. Like I would happily love to go into that like mode, but it was a little weird. And
well,
obviously the other
well,
character
I
felt
feel like what was it? Like, I feel like every guy has watched probably a porn that has like twin sisters or something like that. It's the same fucking thing, you weirdo perverts. Like, if you're getting off on twin sisters that shared a womb, getting it down, dicking down, like sharing a guy, I don't know what they're doing. But
for
sorry,
some reason
not my porn
other
jam.
girls, I think that's
No,
the
well, don't you remember back in the day? It was like, oh my God, make out. Like, what is wrong with our youth? Like, I
I
feel
don't
like it's not even a generational thing. It's every generation thing.
I don't think so. I think that the Gen Z and younger are absolute prudes and not kissing or doing anything until they're like in college.
Good.
Yeah, snaps to
Be
you guys.
pure. Be
Yeah.
pure, because could not
Be-
be us. Well,
Mhm.
granted, I mean, whatever, it's our podcast. I I was pure. I was pure after until graduation, then all bets were off. But I was pure.
I feel like there should be like a little background sound that goes, ah.
I know. If I actually wanted to do editing here and not just do our editing in the highlight trailer for our episodes, I would do the like beam of lights behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I legitimately was like every parent's dream of like, I never drank. I
Mhm.
never did anything bad. I would ask if I could drink. I would always ask permission. I was a virgin until 18 because like for some reason it was like a huge commodity and it was like considered your V card. Don't you remember that? And I was like, oh, she still has her V card. And that was like a goal. And I was like,
So
for me,
creepy.
I'm always the rebel, allegedly, because I was like, oh, okay, well then I'm gonna keep it longer. Oh, you want it? No, no, not gonna happen.
Oh, love that for you.
I know. I love that. Just like that's how I've always been. Because clearly I was like a youth. I could have been impressionable. I was impressionable, but not to that point. So,
Yeah. Okay,
Ooh.
wait, what else happened on White Lotus? So,
Well, obviously Parker Posey flipping out at the table like, you're not from China. You want to move here? You want to live in Taiwan? Like, what are you doing? And she's like freaking out about it at her daughter while her like sons are getting it on a
and
boat.
while her husband is like having a freaking like
Well, oh
full
my
on,
God, the
yes.
scene where he almost killed himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pretty dark.
I no, I literally was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But anyway, it's like legitimately like they are not about to make him unalive himself right now, are they? And then finally, like she came in the perfect timing, y'all. Timing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Um,
Timing is
I thought it was gonna be
everything.
the daughter that comes in. That's who I was thinking was gonna come in. And like I was
Oh,
hoping for like a heartfelt moment, but
what are you doing out here? And
yeah.
that's it. That's all.
I was
That's
like, I
it.
wonder if that makes him like if it confirms that like what he like I was hoping like I hope that doesn't confirm that you should do what you're gonna do.
No,
Um
okay. Okay, so I sent you this. I don't know if you watch it because I sent you like 17,000 reels throughout the week to get prepped for this show. Our little show, if you will, our little talk show. I heard something recently saying like when women have a podcast, they call it their talk show. And it's like, go fuck yourself, you fucking little. Anyway, I'll get to that because that's in the what we watched. Anyway,
Mhm.
um, wow, I totally did the whole like squirrel moment. What was I talking about?
Oh God. Well, if you're asking me, I don't know, because I also have a squirrel brain, and now I'm thinking about freaking squirrels and how I should not eat the rest of my chocolate that I keep cannot stop eating.
The chocolate's not made of squirrel.
Danielle,
What?
quick round fire. Round fire. What is it called? Oh God.
Rapid fire?
Rapid fire. What's on your desk?
Um, no spray. Tylenol, menstrual relief,
Oh my God.
um, soft lips,
Love it. Love
and
it.
scissors. Obviously, it's a desk. And then a Jason gnome, because obviously.
Adorable. I love it.
Thank you. That actually did get my
Yeah,
like attention back to what was going on.
you're welcome. I have a wine glass, a water bottle, a doorbell ringer, 3 squares of chocolate, and then a whole nother chocolate bar on the other side. And there was more chocolate. So if you're getting a vibe that we're something is happening to us that happens once a month,
This episode is sponsored by PMS. Thank you very much. No, I'm pre. I don't know if you're current, but no, I'm pre. And pre is more of I'm just very rowdy, feisty, and I'm basically like a freaking what, grasshopper? What is it called?
oh,
What?
a praying mantis.
That where I will bite
Yes.
the head off of anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You
no,
get
that's an
feisty and I get sad. Pre.
that could not be me.
Yeah. I like cry
No,
nonstop. It's really annoying.
actually, no, actually, yesterday I did tear up over a video of a golden retriever dressed up at Disneyland, and Tigger came out, and Tigger is his
Oh,
like
I
his.
saw that. Yes. It
Did you
was
watch the full thing? And he licks his little he licks Tigger's nose, and he's wagging his tail, and he's so excited because that's his toy at home. Oh my God. I literally was like, oh, this is it. This shows me that I still have emotions in there. Every month it shows me I have emotions in there.
Oh my God. Are you ever
Anyway,
The Holiday with Cameron Diaz and she's like
I saw that
trying to cry
movie.
and she's like
Oh, no. I think it's because of the decade of numbing where I realized I couldn't cry in front of a person. Like, I think that trained me to not cry when I
mm.
should be crying.
Mm. Mhm.
So that in itself, I mean, trust therapy. Love it. Love it
Yeah.
so much. Highly recommend therapy to anybody who needs it. And anybody who needs to put it to anybody else in their family. Because God willing, I feel like that would
Mhm.
actually break a lot of generational curses if people would just get their asses
Go to
into
therapy.
therapy.
I agree. We've always
Hmm.
talked about that. We're advocates of therapy. Go to therapy. Everybody needs it. I don't think there's a single person on this planet who doesn't need at least 5 sessions of therapy. I don't care
No,
who you
okay.
are.
No,
Everyone
that's the
needs it.
thing. That's the thing. Oh, you think you went to two and you're all better now? Like, go
No,
fucking.
you need a
I
whole
can't,
like year.
can't say it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Everybody
anyway,
needs it. Doesn't mean you're broken, doesn't mean anything. It's that we
no.
all deal with shit and things happen in our lives because life is not perfect and it just happens. Everyone needs it. You need to
And
process
it's an
stuff.
unbiased third party
Mhm.
that will not judge you because they are paid for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I do recognize though that it is hard to find that like a good therapist, but I still
Yeah.
think that there are like you got to go through the motions and there are other things that you can do. You can journal, you can watch freaking TikTok videos of like healthy behaviors, attachment style shit. Like,
Better than nothing.
yeah, do some kind of research.
Better than just playing video games all day and hoping for the best.
Um,
Anyway, let's go back to White Lotus before I
all
get
right.
really feisty.
Oh wait, we should talk about the
Um,
girls.
eh?
The three
Oh,
girls.
oh my
Mhm.
God, duh. So I already knew that the lead girl was gonna get
Oh,
jelly and she was gonna fuck the guy with the abs. Like, duh. I already knew that. And mind you, 1000% thought I saw a badge, but I didn't. It was white underwear. Um,
You did you
but
rewind?
I was like,
Excuse
splash or
you?
vag? And then I did rewind and I was like, oh, that's just white underwear. Um, I was like, wow, she must be getting paid a lot for this show. But no, I definitely knew she was going to be the one that was going to bang one of the guys. And then, of course, like the girlfriend coming in. Of course, one of them has a girlfriend, one of the Russian dudes. Like they have a girlfriend, duh. And then she's like started the fight in the club. The cringe moment for me was bless her heart, love her to death. But I mean, not really. She would be cringing. I would be cringing for her too. The girl in the orange, the single blonde girl with the short crop, not Leslie Bibb, but the orange one that took off her top
Yeah.
in the pool. I cringed a little for her because she was just like trying too hard. Like,
What was
yikes.
the dancing for me? I was
When
like,
she was like taking a shot and did like the cross arm thing, I was like, ooh, that would have been my ick. Like, you know how everyone has icks where it's like, oh my God, you're so hot, you're so hot. And then you do something and you're like, ooh, like I just got the ick. And now all of a sudden you're not hot anymore. If I
yeah,
was a guy and saw that, I'd be like, that was my ick.
guys don't get icks. They don't get icks.
Guys just want vagina, yo. They will not get icks.
I don't
They
get it.
want nipples, they in their mouth, and
They
because
don't
they
get
have
icks
mommy
like that.
issues.
They probably get icks like in marriage.
She
Like,
made me take out the trash, bitch.
oh yeah,
Um,
it was very cringy, and I'm assuming that they did that on purpose, but the whole thing was cringy. I was the girl on the chair who was like, "Guys, let's just go to bed." That was
going to
me. That would
bed.
be me.
It's getting late, guys. Let's go.
Yeah. Do we need to prove that we're like young and hot still when we're
Well, obviously the lead girl still did too. She's not getting any from her husband, young husband guy or whatever.
oh, yeah, it was very cringy, so I can't wait to see how that like unfolds. And then
I'm wondering if it's going to even come out. Like, will she admit to it with the orange shirt
oh, I
lady
feel like
friend?
I don't know where I forget where they ended, but I was like, I feel like her friend's gonna like see him, like leave in
Oh,
the
like
morning.
leaving in the morning.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Okay.
that
No,
and then more, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
the transition, speaking of Leslie Bibb, her
Yeah.
husband, Sam Rockwell,
Uh-huh.
and his appearance with, okay, this is the first time I actually found tan guy with teeth hot. This is the first time I actually was like, okay,
You
I
and
can
the rest
see
of
it.
the internet was on
No,
fire about him.
okay, I was like, ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then all of a sudden he was sitting across from Sam Rockwell, and I was like, I think it's the lighting of the restaurant, and he's actually attractive.
That's so funny. Well, that whole scene, I was dying. It was so good.
Do you
Whoever
watch
wrote
it with
that.
Charlie?
Yes, of course. Oh my
Okay.
God. He was laughing too. We were just cracking up. Like, can you imagine being like you're meeting up with someone, like an old friend?
And this is why I have to drink chamomile tea.
You're like, okay, you stick with your
Cause
chamomile
that's
tea,
no,
sir.
cause that's how it started. Remember, he's like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
just drinking chamomile tea," and he's like, "Well, let me tell you." And all of a sudden, it just like started the monologue, and you're like, "Oh,
Think did you send me? It was like a funny meme about like you unloading about to your Uber driver at 2 like, and it's Sam Rockwell's face. Like
no,
we've
the
all
other one,
oh
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
guy,
the other
yeah."
way. I feel like we've all kind of been there. Maybe like you tell someone way too much about your life or your night, and then you're like, why did I do
I
that?
definitely think that happened with your when we did the bridesmaids meetup in Santana Row, and then when we did obviously your bachelorette party, where the bridesmaid I was sober at your bachelorette party, but your bridesmaid meetup. I remember we got real because we went from like brunch to the Irish pub that no longer exists there in Santana Row to, did you hear that? Like it closed.
No, actually, I didn't. I
The
didn't
one
know that.
across from the counter
Yeah.
next to where Urban Outfitters was
Uh-huh.
closed.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
we went there, got drunk off there, and then we went back to your house, got more drunk, then went in the pool. So we were real fucked up. But I just remember
That's
it was
really
like,
funny because I do not remember. I remember the brunch because there's pictures. Don't remember drinking afterwards. Don't remember that I had a party at my house.
No, and I have a picture I still have in my phone, and I will share with you because I will share it in the episode, maybe like in the story. I have a picture. You took my phone and took a picture of yourself
Oh
when but right
no.
right before we went into the pool. Oh, you can see in your eyes. You're like, I'm so drunk. It's actually
Oh,
it's one of my favorite pictures though after that when we were actually in the pool. It was like one of my favorite pictures of us where we both have our sunglasses on, we're in the pool.
are we in the floaties?
Hmm.
Okay, I know that picture. That's funny because I
No, but
didn't know that that was from that because I am a squirrel.
no, and the picture I have on my phone, I'm gonna find it after this, but the picture I have on my phone that you took of yourself, you can see it's the exact same top that you're wearing.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay,
Yeah.
so I also another meme that I just saw that made me think of you, and literally all my other best friends that I have is like in every best friend relationship, there's like someone with a memory of like a freaking elephant, and the other person who has a memory of a freaking squirrel. I'm the squirrel
And I don't want to say it out loud, but yeah, obviously I'm an
in
elephant.
every relation. I think I have like a handful of like very
Okay,
close
wait. I do
friends.
have to say, obviously not the nights that I blacked out because we've known each other since we actually, I mean, like we
Yeah.
would go back way deep. Like I was 18, you were 17.
Mhm.
Clearly, clearly, we have moments where you blacked out or I blacked out. So there's some where there's interchangeable memories,
That
but
makes me feel better.
duh, because hello, back then when you're in your like 17, 18 to 22 party stage, you're pretty much toggling the fine line of binge drinking. So
I've never partied in my life, guys.
she's actually not drinking wine right now. That's grape juice. She's lying to you.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
She's
Alcohol
she's
removed.
actually Mormon. So
Oh
you know, that's Diet Coke.
my God. Okay, wait.
Um,
Wait, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
let's go back to what we watched because we only got to the first bullet point
That's
and
what I was gonna
we're an
say.
hour in, hour and
I
a half in.
know. I'm sorry, guys. Hang in there.
Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so
Okay.
we're very aware of the fact that we ramble, but also we're getting great feedback. Thankful for people who are telling us like are their feedback
Yeah.
without prompting that. But yeah, you're hanging out with us. We're just chit-chatting. So if you need to pause this and come back to it later, we're not going to be offended. Those views still count.
Yeah.
Those listens still count. Those
Totally.
downloads still count. That all we want is leave a comment about how amazing, how wonderful, how hilarious we are because we would really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Um, can you talk about, okay, so White Lotus, we did that, we did that, we did that, we did the Lady Boy chat. I think that kind of covers everything because the next Sam Rockwell's going to be back. Lady Boy guy. Love him so much. Oh my
Mhm.
God. And how is he 60 years old? He's so fucking hot.
He's 60?
Yeah, Leslie Bibb's
What?
husband, Sam Rockwell, is 60 years old. He is the hottest 60-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so I've loved him. So I loved him in that movie when he was in space. I forgot what it was called, but you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the movie with Sam Rockwell in space, it has like 20 versions of him. It's like multiple Sam Rockwells. Anyway, but when he was in that Charlie's Angels movie and he is dancing to the boombox, smoking a cigarette, like a little slutty Catholic boy smoking a cigarette like he shouldn't be, and then he like makes the freaking thing explode and tries to kill the Charlie's Angels. So good.
I
Anyway,
have no idea what it's
okay,
about,
that's
but
homework for you.
I
I will listen to the podcast. You watch the Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. It has Demi Moore, Cameron Diaz,
yeah, they're
Drew Barrymore,
I think I
Lucy
saw it, but
Liu.
maybe not.
Oh, he is when he does his dance with the boombox, let me tell you.
He's in all kinds of stuff.
Well, no shit. No, those two are just things that could stick out to me.
He's in like everything. That's crazy. I didn't even know. Did you know he's in? Oh no, I thought that was The Dark Knight. It's The Dark of Night.
Different movie. Could
Different
be a
movie,
porn.
guys. Never mind.
Hold on. Okay, so I think that's enough White Lotus talk. Yes, Sam Rockwell's really hot. We're gonna see more this next episode, so I'm excited for Sunday. Anywho, Daredevil, not to be confused with the Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck movie that I thought you put on the list, and I was like, what the hell? Why are you
Dear
talking about
God,
Daredevil?
no, guys, no. Okay, so Daredevil, I've been watching for a number of years now with Charlie.
What
Um,
is it on? What is it on?
it was on, I think that the original ones were on Netflix, but because of like the ownership of like some rights and stuff, it is now on Disney. Um,
Oh, because of Hulu. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and it's in the first like I think it's like the first 3 or 4 seasons are fantastic. They're wonderful still, and they use the same actors, brought them over to like whatever the new studio is. I have no idea what the inner workings of that was, but they use the same actor for that character. And it's Charlie Cox, which do you know who Charlie Cox is? He was
Uh,
in Boardwalk Empire. He was like the what's a mistress, but not a for a guy. What is there's
Mister.
a mister.
I
No,
call
there's
it a mister. I know it's not, but I call it a mister. I'm like, if you're being a little himbo, I'm gonna call you mister. But
a
no,
mister.
I'm looking at his picture right now.
So also he was in one of my like I feel like it's like one of those movies that like I watched when I was like early 20s and I was like, this is so cute. Stardust. Did you ever see Stardust with oh
No.
God. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. Claire Danes.
Oh, no, but the
Yeah.
girl that's in the redhead girl that's in Daredevil is the freaking
Yes.
redhead girl that's in True Blood.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So you would like the like first couple.
Wait, and the guy with the nose is from Walking Dead, and the redhead guy, Eldon Henson, he's also in
Uh-huh.
Mighty Ducks. Full
Yes.
circle.
Yes. Full
Full
circle.
circle.
So it's a really good show, but Charlie Cox is like my like celebrity, one of my like top celebrity crushes. I love watching him. He
Ironic that
is,
your husband's name is Charlie.
you know, try and keep it in the same same
You're like, it's
circle.
easy when you let out a little name out in the middle of passion that it's the
I
same
love
name.
him. I also love that I just
Oh,
looked at like it says that he's 42 years old. That makes me feel like a lot better as a person that I'm not like
my
looking at someone who's like younger than I am.
girlfriend. What's the problem with liking someone that's younger than you? Because let me tell you,
Nothing. But for me, it just makes me like, oh, cute. Like we're the same age, but
you're not
not.
42.
No.
I was like, you're not older than me. What are you talking
Listen,
about?
if you're
I'm
pulling
not even
someone
40
younger,
yet.
yeah, and if you're pulling someone younger, like good for you, get it. But like I'm just saying, like it just made me feel like in my fantasies, like I'm like cute.
Oh my God, are
We'd
you
be
talking
perfect
about like the
together.
fact that speaking of the Younger, I did finally finish my rewatch of Younger. I'm gonna have to watch Daredevil for sure, but I'm gonna have to watch like I highly recommend if you haven't watched it, watch Younger because the guy who I told you in the beginning was like obviously in the first season he's 26, so by like the last season he's obviously in his early 30s because it went on for like 7 seasons. But
Damn.
so and I'm sorry,
Hmm.
if you thought that 40-year-old face that obviously never touched eye cream to save her life, if you thought she was 27, that she was proclaiming to be, you're an idiot. And I
I
think
agree. I thought that was a really hard pill to swallow that she was like 26 and she's beautiful. Don't get me
she is
wrong.
okay. And she's the one that's actually with Hugh Jackman now.
Oh, really?
Fun fact. So you know how he was with his wife for like 1,000 years?
Yeah.
Allegedly, there was crossover with Sutton
No.
Foster and Hugh Jackman were dating before he was officially single.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
that makes me
bueno,
so
guys. I
sad.
know. I was like, at first, I was like, I thought he was gay.
Yeah.
I
She's
mean,
50 now. Damn.
he, oh yeah, well, he fooled me because he was so good in Greatest Showman.
I didn't watch that, but I just no. Okay, I know. Listen, the theater geek. does not want to watch any more theater unless I'm live in Broadway. I
Did you
don't.
see did you see the new Wicked?
Yeah, I saw Wicked and I liked
Okay.
it, but there were some moments where like I just physically and I'm uncomfortable when
I
people sing.
cannot.
I know. I don't know what
I
happened to
can,
me. Like
I
too much
can
musical theater.
no,
Don't look
I
me in the eyes and sing, okay? And don't
no, I
definitely
saw
don't
you.
start to
I
snap.
think speaking of, the last time I saw you in a production was West Side Story, girl. They love to snap in that shit. Um, oh my God. Okay. Homework for you. Okay, pause on Younger. You can rewatch that
Okay.
later. That's seven seasons. You need to watch Greatest Showman with the surround sound.
Do.
Oh my God.
It
It's
is so
so good.
crazy. I don't know what happened to me, Danielle.
Where
Okay, if
did
you're not,
the girl
don't tell me
I
that,
know
Will. I did
go?
musical theater for so long, and all I would
Who
like
are you?
people would
No,
smear on me. I
no,
know.
full circle moment. I talked about aliens earlier. I think that you might be an alien. Pretty sure, because who the fuck are you? I don't even know you anymore.
If I was an alien, I definitely would not be on this planet. I would be in Paris. Okay.
Okay. Did you also see that recently? I like how we're always like, did you hear? Did you see? Did you see over
Yeah.
there? Apparently the United States
hmm
is the least happy country
hmm I did.
happening. I was like, oh, shocker. Shocker.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you, and like I think this is why like our like watch list has gotten longer is because we all need to just like go into
Turn
just
off our
kind of
brain.
turn off your brain and watch list. Um, yeah, I'm trying to watch things that are like actual feel goods, and I'm still trying to in some like random gardening tips and like parenting tips and cooking tips. So yeah, I totally agree. But
I don't need
musical,
parenting tips, but I definitely like to include the whole like reactions you give now will reflect on them later. So if you have a hyper excited reaction, that could lead to anxiety. So I'm like very mindful of how I react to them. So I think that's full circle to what we talked about earlier,
Mhm.
is just be mindful basically of how you speak to your children. And I always tell them how amazing they are, how smart they are, how like funny they are. I always like to give them the affirmations, and I feel like that was something that was lacking
Mhm.
within our youth and the generation before us and generation before that, is like we were not told enough how great we are now present. We always were striving to be the next best thing. So that's some parenting advice, is
Aw, I
tell
love
your
that.
kids they're fucking awesome. Tell your kids they're
Yeah.
funny as hell. Tell your kids they're the sweetest little munchkins ever. And it
Yeah,
goes far because like every time I do tell Forrest, you're so smart, he lights up. So I know it does matter. But
I love that.
going into, I only watched this one episode, the first episode, so I'm going to talk very, 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 very briefly before I get into the Bravo corner because there's a couple things I want to talk about the Bravo corner. Um, Adolescence on Netflix. Have you heard about it?
I have not. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay. Allegedly, I haven't gotten to the point where it says like based on a true story, but I saw that there is news articles about it where it's actually based on a true story. It's based in England.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm like blown away the entire first episode. And because I've only watched the first episode, but I've heard every episode is shot in one shot.
Oh, cool.
They don't break. They go literally through the house,
Mhm.
outside, into the van, out of the van, into the building. All like they don't break. So these actors
Easy.
don't stop. They don't break character. It is just that alone, beautifully shot, but it's terrifying story because it's really sad. The first episode, a 13-year-old boy, and this is not like a spoiler alert situation because it literally happens in the first 5 minutes. A 13-year-old boy is arrested, whole SWAT team, and we have experience with SWAT team. A whole SWAT team, and that could be a story for another day.
Yeah.
A whole SWAT team bombards this house, arrests a 13-year-old boy, and then later you come to find that he is arrested for the murder of a 13-year-old girl. And
Oh.
there is some video footage that you see, and it is not good. So I'm excited, not excited to see the rest because you're thinking, like, this is a 13-year-old child. Like, how is this even possible? So
Mhm.
the trailer of the full episode, like the full series, if you watch the full trailer of like how the series kind of goes, there is blips of like where the parents are like, where, how did we go wrong? Like, what did we do wrong? And I think that's going to be the rough part to watch is like you really do have to kind of facilitate that idea of you raise your child to be the best they can be, but really there is a point where they have to take it from there.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
hope that everything you instilled in them will be for the benefit and the good things that are in their
Mhm.
life, not you raise them and they get to the point where they make bad choices.
Yeah.
So I know it's going to eventually be hard to watch, but the first episode, this one's going to get awards. I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now, the way that just the fact that the entire episode was shot in one take,
So impressive.
it was beautiful. Like you have to watch it. It's like that movie with Elizabeth Olsen, the horror movie. Did you ever watch that one where she's in the house? It was called like The Quiet House or something.
Oh, I don't think I did. And I actually really love her. Oh, I look that up.
That entire 2-hour movie was shot in one take.
Damn.
And I kid you not, it was stunning. Mind you, full from what I remember, it was boring, but it was so visually beautiful because you're realizing like every single person involved is doing such a superb job. The fact that this is a one take wonder kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, highly recommend. Let me know. That'll be on your list too. Adolescence. I'm gonna watch the next episode probably later tonight, most
Silent
likely this weekend. Watch
Sound.
that. Um, couple of Bravo related news
Mhm.
stuff is I know you're not a Bravo gal, but
Not
I very
yet.
much am. You need to watch.
I know.
Okay, I told you Southern Hospitality before the next season comes out because it's the third season just ended. You have to watch that. But Summer House has been on for eons.
Mhm.
Um, that one's a really easy watch too. It's one that you definitely don't have to pay attention to. You can have it on in the background while you're like doing your stuff around the house. But Summer House, the latest episode, Craig and Paige, cameras picked up. It kind of ties into Southern Charm because they are both in different shows. So Craig is from Southern Charm, Paige is from Summer House.
Mhm.
And then they started dating like a few years ago. They broke up, but we were meant to believe that they broke up around Christmas time when really they broke up around Thanksgiving. And she was made out to be this like girl that was like cheating, but then later came to be that we found out, oh, well, they actually broke up way earlier than that we were told.
Hmm.
So she's not a cheater. She's able to date 'cause she's been single for months,
Yeah.
but because people saw her when she shouldn't have been seen at this point. And then she was like, I told him I was going to announce that we were broken up on this episode because she has a podcast, the Giggly Squad, and she was like, I gave him the warning.
Hmm.
I want to openly talk about this because we've been broken up for over a month now. He didn't respond to her, so she's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna just talk about it because like I'm sick of lying, like that we're still together.
Yeah. That's weird.
Shh. Right? And then she said, like all the best things. He is such a great boyfriend. He was such a great boyfriend. He's everybody like, I wanted to be, focused more on my career and he was just so supportive of that, blah, 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 blah. Like said all the right things. Then people started being like, wait, we saw you with this guy, so you're a cheater. If there's overlap, oh my God. And then he wasn't coming to her defense, being like, no, she's not a cheater. We actually broke up like 2 or 3 months prior.
Yeah.
So now it's all really like really muddy, but we're seeing like the walls breaking down on the shows now. So Summer House, we're seeing she's openly talking about like I'm still like my career is kicking off right now. Like I'm going on tour with my podcast. I'm doing this and that. I'm having, sponsorships from DSW and creating
Yeah.
shoes, like and stuff like that with them.
Well, yeah.
And he wants her to stop so he can impregnate her, have a marriage and a baby. Because he's from the South. So he's from Southern Carolina. And she's from New York.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't
These are
just
cultural differences. That's why I feel like long distance can work in a relationship, but to an extent. If you're dating someone from the deep South, most likely if you're like California liberal, it ain't gonna work. Or if you're like really stern attitude from New York and you're trying to date someone that's from the South that wants to have freaking white picket fence with babies and the wife stays at home and cooks dinner while I do the work, it's not going to work for a girl that wants to have a career.
yeah. No.
And I think that's actually ties into a lot of the disconnect in the world today is like you need to have this conversation early on. And if you think you're going to like
Right.
change or alter a person's opinion, it's probably not going to happen. I hate to tell you. Like, I know that there is like a fine line between like the wiggle room, the compromise of it
No, you're
all.
not going to change him, sis. Don't do it. No.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, more like he's not going to change her because he
And
tried
he's
so hard to make her be like, well, eventually you'll be over this. And then you'll want to come down and have a baby and be married and like take care of the kids.
not every woman wants to do that, and that's totally her right. So, yeah, I agree.
And
Run.
I was victim to the fact that like I did have that persona of like, you need to take care of all the housework. Well, you're not taking care of my bills. I have to
Mhm.
still work more than ever to take care of my children, our children at the time, but my children and pay the bills and all this. And then you still want me to do all the things in the house too. Like, that's not fair.
No, it's a partnership. It's totally a partnership. I think that, like in a modern day, relationship, it's like, hey, you're cooking, so then I'm cleaning. That's okay. Like I'm helping you, you're helping me.
That's
I
not hard
will,
to ask for.
no, it isn't. No, it isn't. And I think it's like it's about communication, but like also like you have to be receptive to that communication. If you have someone on the other end who's like just not, and they're like, no, this is your role, well then,
Find a person that will fulfill that role. And I think
yeah.
that that kind of also plays into what I'm talking about with people sliding to DMs of people they shouldn't be, is because they're trying to get things that are not in the relationship they have. And I
Yeah.
think that it's really hard nowadays to, with the extra costs, the more expensive things, the things that we need in order to survive, especially in California. I feel like it's just so much like you're wanting all of these things, but if you're not fulfilling X, Y, and Z, how are you expecting this person to fulfill the other needs that you have when they're working, their fingers to the bone situation kind of thing?
Yeah, it's not fair. Yeah. It's just I
So
think it just comes down to communication, and that's like early on in the relationship and like building that foundation of like, hey, if I have an issue, I'm gonna you guys openly talk about it, and it doesn't always work, I'm gonna be honest. But like the intent to like find commonality, like common ground, I think is super super important. May not work the first round, come back again. Let's chat more. And it's weird too, because I do find that like even myself, like I've put myself in these like social constructs of like what a woman does in a marriage and what a man does in a marriage. And I've had to like, does that actually make sense for us? Maybe that made sense for
our
whoever else.
past generations.
Yeah. But does that make sense for us today? One of
I
the
think maybe if you live in a different state where a woman can be the homemaker, the one that stays at home and doesn't have to actually have over 40 plus hour work week to still provide. Like if you're both bringing home the bacon, then you both need to do the work.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I will say that like that, listen, ladies, if you are a stay-at-home mama and you are doing that and your husband is supporting you or your partner is supporting you doing that, that is like such a like
Blessing.
blessing get it because like that means that your partner is so incredibly supportive. They're like, no, I see
Well,
you doing this. So
hopefully they're supportive of that and doesn't use that as a weaponizing
I
in arguments where they're like, "Oh, well,
hope
all you
so.
do is
Yeah.
stay at home." Okay, if you're getting verbally assaulted by the fact that you're a stay-at-home woman, even though that was the situation that was established earlier on, then you need to get the fuck out because that guy is going to be a piece of shit and you need to fucking start putting money away in the back and
I
get
think
your
that's
fuck
the
out.
scariest part about it is that you're so dependent on that other person. That is
Couldn't be me.
what, yeah. For me, the relationships that I've seen in my life where, I know stay-at-home moms, thankfully, those are like really healthy relationships. So I feel like I am so career driven. And that wasn't me when I was 19, which is so funny because I think Charlie thought I really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And I think in another like universe I would be, but it's just
Oh,
now.
I'm right there with you, sister. Like I am so career driven because I did see that my mom was going to be so like, I don't want to work. I want to be dependent on the man. I'm like, yeah, and then that didn't get you very far, girlfriend.
No, because nobody, and on the flip side for the man or woman, like let's say you're a lesbian, like nobody wants somebody else to be 100. Like when you say that, it feels like someone wants to be 100% dependent on someone else. And that's a very big burden, you know?
Imagine if the guy lost his job. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. So I think no matter what, there's always some kind of like it's a partnership. However you slice it, you're gonna stay home, you're gonna work, whatever your like career aspirations are.
I think we need to just say flat out, if you're gonna get married or be in a long-term relationship, it is a partnership and it needs to stop being this stupid, contrived, like bullshit, old school mentality of women have to do this and men have to do this. No. Men need to step up, women need to step up, and you guys need to seriously step up together. And that's the only way you're going to last long term. Otherwise, you're bound to disintegrate or dare I say explode because
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen if you don't have that partnership. And that's exactly why I am single. Anyhow, um,
I
back
think like
to
yeah. We'll segue out of there. I agree. No, and in good for you because I think it serves you and your boys that, like it gives them and you a better like feeling vibe.
Well, I also feel like I'm also raising my boys to realize because I'm very much like I instill daily because I can
Mm.
hear myself saying it. When they're arguing or if one of them wants something over the other, I always instill respect. So I'm like, what did your brother say to you? You need to respect what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I instill respect, I instill politeness. So to the point where I'm like instilling these values into my children because I want them to grow up to know that their mom did everything possible to make their lives as best as they possibly could with what I have at my own devices, like
Yeah.
by being like what I have available to me. Would I love to provide them with more? Of course, but I can't. I am where I am. I'm going to do what I have to do, but dare I fucking say, I'm going to make my boys the best, most respectful young gentlemen ever. And they're going to be raised to respect women and they're going to be raised to not talk down to them or expect things out of them. They're going to see that, well, my mom did everything. And
Hmm.
I'm not just talking around the house, I'm
Yeah.
talking bringing in the money, bringing in this, we're doing all of the XYZs that one would assume that someone else would also help with. And I want them to take that into their next partnership with whoever they end up with and realize that this is what I witnessed. And I want to know, like, I will be raised to know it is not a duty of every person, but rather it is the respectful thing of if this person has to do this, I'll respect that. If this person wants to do this instead and make a different thing, I'm going to respect them as well because this is also what they need to do to make themselves better, their lives better, themselves flourish, etc. Our relationship flourish if they're in relationships. Because again, we don't want to just assume that they're going to be in like these happy copacetic relationships. We want to assume like one may be a business driven, never has a relationship, but another one is super really into like family. We don't know. We really don't know how our children are going to be, but we just need to instill these beautiful things into them and hope that they do the best with them.
Yeah. I think you're doing the Lord's work, girl. You're doing the mama's work. It's really, really like good to hear that, and that's what like the world needs. And I think about the same things having two boys and like wanting to put these like values in them that are going to be, make the world a better place.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
I think Zoom blocked it out because they thought of it as background noise because all of a sudden it went silent.
There should be another season there, but it's okay. No, I mean, just to sum that up, I think that's what we have to do as boy moms.
And I saw something too where it was like, as boy moms, you really have to realize you're raising these children to be amazing partners for
Hmm.
whoever they end up with,
Yep.
and also be people in society that can actually be people in society.
Yeah.
So Damiana and I are doing our best. Hopefully, like this doesn't come out 20 years from now and all of a sudden people are like, well, look at how they were raised with showing too much respect to their counterparts. How dare they? Like, no, we did our best, like, because
Yeah.
we are making sure that our children aren't pieces of shit to our best ability.
Yeah. I want good little humans. That's the goal.
Exactly.
These good humans.
And
Uh,
treat people with kindness,
yeah,
respect, and love.
exactly. Okay,
I,
wait. Tell me,
yes.
you put on here on our notes that you started a you rewatch.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Actually, I totally forgot about that. Yes. So I did because the last final season is coming out on Netflix.
Mhm.
So I did a you rewatch. So I'm still in the first season when he's with Bex, the blonde one,
Yeah.
before it starts getting weird and then it goes to England and then goes into like all this stuff. So this is like the first season. Oh my God. I forgot how good it was because I remember watching it live when they were like just releasing episodes. And I want to say they did release it where there was like one episode a week. And people were in an uproar about it because it was during COVID times where everyone wanted to have like
Episode.
everything available to them to watch.
Yes.
But it's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. I
Love you.
highly recommend doing a good old rewatch because You is really good. And yes, like I said, it's coming out with their final season.
Mhm.
Let me look actually. You,
Well, you're looking that up. I have to do a
A-
shout out on you.
April
When is
24th. You have 1 month.
April
1 month to
24th?
watch the
Oh, that's
whole series.
super close. Yeah. I have a friend that I used to do musical theater with. Her name's Kelly Breslin, and she is one of the writers on You. So she'll post about it, and she is a really cool person. I specifically remember being in a show with her. I think it was West Side Story.
Shut up. Full circle.
And
Okay, you know what's
we,
also weird, full circle? Is in You, the redhead girl from season 1, who kind of carries out throughout, like season 2 and stuff. She is Amber Childs or Childers, and she's also in makes like she's Lala Kent's step daughter's mother from Vanderpump Rules. So
it's really
bravo,
weird.
bravo.
I just I remember like doing this skit with Kelly in backstage or in backstage. God, I cannot talk. Where I would pull her, I would drag her on the floor and we would both scream, or she would scream, and then I would maniacally laugh.
And this was in West Side Story.
It was like backstage, just like having
Oh,
fun with
okay.
her with
I
the
was like,
rest
I
of
don't remember that scene in
and then
Backside Story, that West Side
she was
Story.
working at one of the haunted houses and she got me a job there. And so it was super fun
Oh
just
my
being at a
God.
haunted house. And that
I
whole
rem
bit was
that is
a story.
one of the dream jobs I had was either, and I couldn't because of my current job at the time, I couldn't do gore makeup, but you know how much that would have tiddled my
Oh,
fiddle.
yeah,
So
totally.
I wanted to do Gyro's horror
Yes.
makeup, but the time frame they needed was during a job I already had. And
Mhm.
then I remember if I needed to do that, it was only seasonal because obviously it was during Halloween season. So one of the things that got away was like one of the dream jobs that got away was gore makeup during Gyros and gore makeup during Halloween Horror Nights at Great America.
Yeah. Oh, totally. No, it was so much fun. And honestly, I'm so glad that I did that job because I got to be like Chainsaw Massacre victim. So I got to sit in a ta on the
Wait,
table. Do you remember this?
where?
At
No.
Gyro's downtown San Jose.
Wait.
Yes, we knew each other at this point. I'm fairly certain. And I like got to put my like leg in a table so it looked like it was sawed off. And then I got to be the ring once and I like crawled on like down a hallway and like was freaking everyone out. I forget.
Wait.
There was some
Okay. So, fun fact, I was terrified of gyros because one of the actors in the
I
front did a great job scaring the living shit out of me when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And so I never actually stepped foot in a gyros, but I did step foot in a Rob Zombie horror, like haunted house,
oh my God.
where the whole thing was like different movies of Rob
Yeah.
Zombie. That one was superb, and that one was, I think, inside of the Oak Ridge Mall parking lot.
My God. Wait,
Oh,
you just brought back a horrible memory. I don't know if
you're
it was
welcome.
gyros or not, but I also was terrified as a child. My mom, I think her, but definitely my mom took me to a haunted house, which is so weird that she did that because, anyways, we're in line. I'm a kid, no idea how old I am, and this man has an arm that is a hot dog, but I don't know that, and he's biting his arm. It was a freaking hot dog, you guys. I don't know how he did it, but I remember this, and it was like it was instilled in my brain, and I remember like nuzzling into if I like, you know, yeah, long time. I see your face. It's like horrified.
Well,
How would he do it?
more more so as it reminds me of when I was dragged to a haunted house, and it was an outdoor haunted house. So it was in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And at one
Uh-huh.
point, I realized that I was only the only kid there. So I was like probably 12. And I was the only kid there. Everyone else was adults. So as I was walking up to one of the areas, there was a guy in the ground with his legs cut off, and it was just his upper torso trying to crawl. And I don't know how they did it to this day, but he was crawling across the ground and had no bottom half. And
Oh my God.
then we get to the point where the devil's there, and this is like a core memory. So lovely core memory. Thanks, Mom. Um, the devil's there, and he has those wings that sprawl out, and is like the red smoke behind him, the whole thing. And he's like, "Oh, I know who I'm gonna take, her." And he points to me because I'm the only child there, and goes, "She's perfect. I'm gonna take her because she's none of you guys are gonna allow her, or like none of you guys are gonna fight off, and I'm gonna be able to take her so quickly." And I literally was like, I'm gonna be taken tonight. Like, horrible, horrible. Age restrictions, guys. And I remember I was like driving there. I still have this vivid memory where I was in the passenger seat in the backpack behind the passenger seat, looking out the window on our way to the haunted house, the outdoor haunted house, and looking in the trees, and someone that was, I don't remember who it was with us, probably like my freaking mom's ex-boyfriend that was probably a piece of shit or something, was like, "Oh, don't you see the goblins in the trees looking at you right now?" To this day, I remember that memory, thinking I saw goblins in the trees. Piece of shit. Anyway.
Horrible. Horrible.
Well,
Well, on that note,
let's change the subject to the last thing that we'll talk about is It's Complicated. We both did a rewatch, and I think it's good to end on this note because nobody could get sad or upset about a Nancy Meyers movie if you give our two opinions. No one can.
this was exactly what I needed this week. Are you it if anyone's listening out there, okay, listen. You have a shitty week. You're like, I've watched everything, or maybe you just need a break, like a reset. You need to watch a Nancy Meyers movie.
And you know what's
You
funny
need
is I
to.
watched It's Complicated and I watched Because I Said So.
Oh, I want to see that one next.
That one's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
I think It's Complicated was on Amazon Prime too.
I think you're right, or Hulu. It's one of, I hate that literally. I saw that I posted this meme ages ago where it was like, you know what I love when I go look for a movie and it's not on all the 13 streamers I'm signed up for. But then I posted as an additional comment, I was like, but magically after you rent it, it's magically on one
Oh
of the
my God,
streamers
yeah.
you actually have the next day.
But can we talk about how beautiful Meryl Streep is?
And the
Like
fact she's with Martin Short. They're dating. They've been
oh,
dating for a year.
Martin Short. Wait, what?
From I know I thought he was gay this whole time. Um,
Uh,
from Father of the
yes,
Bride, from Father of the Bride,
yes.
and
That's
from
Adolescence
Murders
makes me
in.
bestie. I didn't know that in real life.
Yeah, they've been dating for over a year.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
That
and I'm
is
sorry
adorable.
if you look at pictures of them, it gives me hope. I'm like, if I'm single from now until I'm like 65,
Oh, yeah.
70, it'll be fine.
Oh, shut up. Of course there's I love her. I think she is just a freaking adorable, powerful human, and I love her acting. It was so good. Even what's his name? Alec Baldwin is kind of
Ooh.
adorable in it too. I know, adorable and gross. It's like, ew, put your shirt back on. What are you doing?
No, 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 no. The fact he has a reality show with his wife now, Hilaria, the one that faked being Spanish and she's actually
Oh,
from Connecticut. Do you not know
no,
that?
I have not seen
So she is, I'm like double checking my internet because I feel like I keep getting like an alert that I'm like unstable. Hold on. Sorry. Behind the scenes. Um, they have a reality show on TLC right now. And there was a whole hullabaloo about her like 3 or 4 years ago where she was faking her accent because she's actually from Connecticut
I
or like
remember
somewhere.
that.
And she's like, how do you say cucumber? How do you say onion? I don't know how to say onion. She makes up this random shit and then I think he was totally fooled by her because he thought she was Spanish. But really they found out like a whole backstory. She's actually from Connecticut.
Stop it.
And they have a reality show. It just came out, but I won't watch it because that's wild. But apparently in the first episode of the reality show, they do talk about the fact because you heard about Alec Baldwin, how he killed somebody
Oh, yes.
on the set of his movie. They talk about it apparently in the first episode.
Oh, that is really
Yeah.
rough. I mean, I don't know like all of the details, but that would be if I like I know the gist of it, that would be very rough if that was like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Um, so he is literally in real life, he is that character in It's
Except he
Complicated.
has like 50 children. Yeah.
How many does he really have a lot of children?
Oh my God. He has like 12. Hold on. Alec
What is with
Baldwin.
these men?
They just want to plant their seed and spring them all out. Hold on. How many biological children? He has eight.
8 children. That's like unheard of. You hear
Alec
about
Baldwin.
my mom's generation.
Well,
What?
he's old. He is old. It says Alec Baldwin has a total of eight children, seven with his wife Hilaria and one with Ireland Baldwin, his ex-wife Kim Basinger. Ireland is the one he called a fat pig on that recording. Don't you remember when he was like really drunk? He's like, "You're a fat pig."
Oh,
And
no.
she released the voice now, like or the voicemail. Yeah.
I'm looking at a couple photos of him with all of his children, and I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass.
Well,
Let's go back to
let's
Meryl
just
Streep.
I was gonna say, let's just say It's Complicated is a lovely movie
It
and
is
highly
a lovely.
recommend. Any Nancy Meyers movies, I'm gonna just look up all of them because I told you I watched Nancy Meyers, the It's Complicated, and then I watched Beyond because I said so right after that. But Something's Gotta Give. Oh my God, with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton,
Oh yeah,
classic.
I've seen that one. That one's pretty hilarious.
I didn't realize What Women Want with Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt was Nancy Meyers.
That's been a while. I'm not a big Mel Gibson fan, but
I didn't know she did The Parent Trap.
Yeah, I didn't. That makes sense. That feels like a Nancy Meyers movie.
And she did Father of the Bride with Steve Martin and Diane
hmm
Keaton. And oh, that's full circle. Oh my God. Then Home
All
Again. I
all
don't
of
know
like
about
the
it.
decor, there's like a Nancy Meyers like interior
Design
decor
page.
vibe.
Well, I wish you watched Vanderpump because they opened a sandwich shop called Something About Her that is Nancy Meyers aesthetic. So and Nancy Meyers actually visited the sandwich shop.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
so did Diane Keaton. It literally looks like the inside of like a Nancy Meyers movie. So it kind of gives that like resemblance of not as big as like the Meryl Streep, the bakery that she had in It's Complicated, but very much like that decor.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah,
whole aesthetics is really nice. And as I'm looking at stuff around my house, I'm like, are you Nancy Meyers? Are you Nancy
I
Meyers?
know. It's weird because like I wear all black, but my decor is baby pink and forest green
I
and
love
gray.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we've reached the end of the road, and I feel like every episode gets longer and longer. So this one's
I
probably two
know.
hours, no joke.
Is it? Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. Listen,
No, like I said, this
do it
is
when you're
one that
driving.
pause and just start over. Like it's not one where you have to like keep it going because there's just so much amazing content and so much newsworthy things you just cannot peel yourself away from. No, pause. Keep it going. Continue once you get back in your car. Continue once you get back on the treadmill. Continue when you get back on cleaning your house, whatever. Like, but not stereotyping women's roles in the house. I'm just saying. Okay. But anyway, on that note, I think that we can say a bit adieu of
A
this
bit.
week. And we, like I said, always upload every weekend, like clockwork. And we'll
Mhm.
keep you posted if anything ever has to go up earlier or later. But otherwise, we're always guaranteed to, see you every weekend.
Thank you guys, and cheers. My glass is empty now, but
My glass
cheers.
is empty too.
Perfect.
Cheers to empties. All right. Love ya. Bye.